Never ever downplay your own strengths, blinded by the greatness of some others. Hey guys, how you doing? It is 12th of December and I'll give you a little story. So I have two great men that have occupied my mind since several months ago. One is Kelvin Cattar from the UFC. The other one is Freddie Roach, who was Manny Pacquiao's head coach for almost 2 decades, right? And I even have specific moments of each of those people that I was very much inspired. So in case of Kelvin Cattar, it was this moment when after the guy beat Giga Chikadze, so that was after a whole year of space between that time when Max Holloway has beaten Kelvin very bad, and that was January of correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I think it was January of 2021, and then the time Kelvin had come back and had beaten Giga Chikadze was January of 2022. So that's a whole year between, right? And so the post-fight interview that Kelvin Cattar has given, and Michael Bisping was interviewing him, and just one trivial thing that has just captured my mind was that Kelvin Cattar was saying congratulations to his older brother. I'm not too sure if it's his older sibling or a younger sibling, but anyways, he was saying, besides all the other things about the fight itself, he also said congratulations to his brother's birthday, which was the day before the fight event. And that really caught my mind, that really captured my mind, and I was really inspired, like in a very good way. Like I was like, I really looked up to him, that like just considering all of the components and all of the factors that could have been like almost the infinite kind of things like that guy had to like overcome, and all the pain and like sweat and tears and all those kind of things. And especially like, anyways, I'm a huge fan of the MMA sport, and you know, it's not a team sport, it is a very individual thing. So, and on top of that, fighters, like even in the cases of some of the fighters that fight, really often, at most they fight like 4 or 5, at most maybe 5 times a year. And compare that to like basketball or soccer or like football, baseball, those kind of sports. Like they have matches or games twice a week, like 3 times a week sometimes, right? So I reckoned that if I were that guy, I just imagine if I were one of those guys that fought in the UFC, and imagine that I myself had been beaten up like Kelvin Cattar had been by Max Holloway, and it must be a really humiliating thing, and it must hurt someone's ego really bad, and that will lead to being just like feeling that impulse, like to prove your worth to the crowd, to the masses, like as quick as possible, so as to like show the people, that prove to the people that I'm still like this tough guy, I'm still like capable and strong, right? And yeah, I imagined all those kind of stuff, and I would reckon that this Kelvin Cattar guy, he just he was really patient, and he was putting in the like inner work, physical work, all of that, right? And he did not give in to temptation, so to speak. So yeah, he did not give in to those specific types of temptations, so to speak. Like being tempted to just to perform a like a comeback fight like sooner, right? And so I had huge respect for that guy, and like I said, especially for that interview that he did, that post-fight interview with Michael Bisping, when he said happy birthday to his brother. And it was such an honorable thing that just one man, like, you just think of the whole history of mankind, right? Like, think, like, you listening, you watching my video, like, I suggest that you, like, for a moment that you just be calm and just contemplate upon this matter, right? Like, you have this audience, like if you're in the UFC and all that, you have that crowd, and you're literally giving your brother honor, part of that honor that you have earned through like blood, sweat, and tears. And just that moment was like clicking something in my psyche and like in my mind and in my spirit that was really like moving, right? So yeah, this was a story about Kelvin Cattar, and like I have mentioned, the second great man that has occupied my mind these several months was Freddie Roach, who has been the head coach of Manny Pacquiao, the Filipino boxer, for like 18 years, so like almost 2 decades. And I just happened to watch his own fights when he was pro, so when he was in his 20s, and I think the opponent was named Joe Ruelaz. Joe, Ruelaz. I think this fight was in the 80s, 1984, 1986, something like that. I recall Freddie Roach is born in 1960, so that's when he was like 24, 25. And yeah, it's you can even look it up. It's on YouTube. You can just search Joe Ruelaz versus Freddie Roach. And this one specific moment for Freddie Roach, it was that during that fight, like when the fight ended, and actually Freddie Roach TKO'd the other guy, and what the ESPN commentator added in the closing of the fight was that, the coach of Freddie Roach was named Eddie Futch, which is also quite interesting because like both their names kind of rhyme, like Freddie Roach, Eddie Futch. Anyways, and that same day when Freddie Roach TKO'd his opponent, was his coach's birthday, Eddie Futch's birthday. So the ESPN commentators said, "Oh, we think this victory could be a really delightful birthday gift for his coach, for this young man's coach, Eddie Futch." And this is a little side note, but Eddie Futch, you should this guy it's really valuable. You should really put some of your time and effort to do some research on this Eddie Futch guy too, because he's an exceptional man, a remarkable man, because Eddie Futch has coached 4 out of 5 guys that has ever beaten Muhammad Ali. Yeah, that's how amazing of a coach this Eddie Futch guy was. So yeah, that's a little side note. Anyways, yeah, these two great men have occupied my mind, like I said, for since several months ago. So I contemplated on these people's like attitudes, their virtues, and their strengths, and their like I would even say like their like purity, like of their will to win. And like sometimes I think to myself that these people are like really pure. Like when I watch them, like even being especially in that Freddie Roach fight against Joe Rules, there's this one moment that the other guy, Joe Rules, was doing like a really some nasty clinch technique. So like something that would be like more used in a wrestling match or an MMA fight, like some like nasty technique, like underhooking Freddie Roach, and then just getting hold of his arm and not letting go. And this just, so Freddie Roach made this facial expression like where he's like really frustrated because of that nasty underhook type clinch technique the other guy was doing on him. And at that moment I thought it was like really like I thought this split second is like a piece of art, and I thought it was a real beauty, because it seemed almost animalistic to me, to the point that it was really beautiful. So I have like come up with this nickname, so to speak. Like I've come up with this vocabulary that I just made up. That he's like a cat man. You know how the cats, like domestic cats and big cats all alike, like jaguar, lion, tigers, all of those cat species. You notice how they're so pure, like not like human beings. Like of course human beings have good traits, but at times, like human beings, I think I have been so much, I would reckon it's pretty much same for you guys listening and watching this too. But I have been like just so many times I've been disappointed and just lost hope and faith in just people in general, that and like just maliciousness, and like not even the maliciousness, but like the nasty stuff, like really dishonest people, and like people they're scheming and backstabbing, all those kind of things, and that makes the heart being fatigued. All of those kind of things had made my heart really like get tired and exhausted. And so yeah, anyways, yeah, so that moment, when that split second when this Freddie Roach made this facial expression, like really just frustrated and angry, like what the fuck are you doing, and that kind of face, he made that face, and I thought it was beautiful, because he didn't seem like a human being. He seemed more like a cat, like a literal cat, like doing the hunting and doing whatever he's supposed to do, like naturally, and something blocks its way, and it's frustrated. That is just so pure, like literally. So anyways, and so that's the story of those two guys. And lastly, like, I mean, it's really about what's going on in my own mind, right? So just me by myself thinking back and forth, right? And honestly, sometimes, not even sometimes, honestly, oftentimes I am so simple-minded at times that I'm almost like a child. So like, instead of trying to implement those Kelvin Cattar and Freddie Roach's virtues and and great those people's greatness and like in personality and all that, instead of trying to implement those people's virtues in my life, in precisely where I'm at, what I oftentimes do is I sometimes I'm really like a childlike thinking process. I do have that kind of thinking process, so I really want to replicate that, like literally. So I was like so much fond of these two people that I wanted to become, really literally, I wanted to be a UFC fighter, or I wanted to go pro, like pro boxer. But I tell you this, I'm born in 1995, so I'm already 30 years of age, and obviously my physical prowess is going to decline, like especially like after I turn 35 in a couple of years and all that. So, well, some people could, like if you look at the example of Bernard Hopkins and George Foreman, these great talents, they became champions and defended their champion belts when they're like 44, 47, 48 years of age. But like generally speaking, right, it's not likely that I'm going to pursue a career in those pro fighting field, right? So yeah, it's like a really fleeting moments in life, but I really wanted to articulate this and press this record button and share my process of thoughts with you guys, so that like this is like an outlet for myself, but at the same time I really sincerely hope that my uniqueness, like my unique process of thinking and all these little stories that I've just told you guys could be some of some use and some utility to you guys watching. Anyways, so yeah, those are like tiny moments of frustration that like I think to myself, oh, I'm already 30 years of age, my physical prowess, like physicality, like my physical strength and endurance, those things are going to decline in only a couple of years. And fuck, man, I can never be like those people that I admire. And just today, not even today, like just yesterday and today, I was just again contemplating upon this matter, and I was saying to myself, and I tell you, my although my channel name is King David, my real name is Chanyeok, and I was saying to myself, Chanyeok, what you doing? You're stupid. You're a fool. Like I can do this. I can do my YouTube channel as faithful and as vigorously as those people did. And I can do all the good stuff and be like them in the more fundamental ways. I do not need to like replicate their lives, or I absolutely don't need to pursue a career in the exact same field as these people that I admire. But like as simple as it might sound, as obvious and stupid as it might sound, but it was a tiny progress and improvement, sort of a leap in my way of thinking that was like stagnant, and then I overcome this little stupidity of my own, so to speak. Yeah, that's it, man. I'll do another one very soon. I hope you liked the video and enjoyed my storytelling. Become a subscriber and I'll be more consistent, since it's approaching the end of the year. It made me think and just self-reflect even more about how I mean, really honestly, I feel kind of bitter even, how I could have utilized and time managed better throughout this year of 2025. Anyways, the past is the past, and God willing, I will do better in 2026. And same thing for you guys watching too, man. I bless you in the name of Yeshua Mashiach, and I'll see you in the next one very soon. I noticed it's almost exactly 20 minutes of this video. So bye guys, I love you. Peace.